Roundtable, where we meet quarterly and on special occasions to address specific issues. We are a group that's made up of elected officials, community recognized organizations, FAA, airlines, and of course, LAX. And our purpose is purely to resolve issues that protects all the people on the ground while maintaining the efficiency and success of the airport itself as well. Anything that is a challenge in the sky, we deal closely with the FAA to help them, and anything on the ground, we work with LAWA to resolve. So with that, I'd like to welcome everybody. Is Jean going to be able to be on the meeting?
No, I'll be facilitating today.
Okay, thanks. Welcome. With that, then, we've gone through an unofficial and / official count, so we do know that we have a quorum.
Yes.
And we'll open up and look for comments from the public on non-agenda items. We're going to start with offering people a 2-minute, and it depends on how many people want on. And I need your help to identify, because on my screen I can't see who's coming. Do we have any speakers that are requesting to speak?
I don't see any.
Well, in that case, what we'll do is we'll move forward and come back to that if there are people that come along. And we do invite the public to speak on any of the items as well, because we do want inputs from everybody. Let's go straight ahead. Number 4, discussion.
Penny, did you want to do the pledge or not?
Yeah, let's do it. Join me. You can only see part of me now. There we go. I do have a little, I don't even have a flag pin here. Do we have a flag that we can put up? Or I see Robert has one.
Robert has the flag. Yep.
So everybody, look at Robert. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Uh-oh. I just lost my feet.
Look at that.
Ah, beautiful.
Amazing.
Thank you, everybody. Let's go straight to the consideration of nominating roundtable representatives to the FAA Noise Advisory Committee. Doreen, are you going to try to cover that one, or?
Our number 4 is an update from Vanita.
Yes.
Or do I have the wrong agenda?
No, the number 4 is the update from our discussion that we had. And I know you guys worked really hard this past week to get those letters out, and it's appreciated.
Danny, are you going to the wrong agenda?
Am I looking at the wrong one?
Yeah.
You might be looking at the August 5th one.
Oh no, I'm in trouble. I don't even have an agenda now in my possession, so I'm really going to need help now.
All right, let me go ahead and work on that for you.
In anticipation leaving, I don't have the right agenda. Oy.
Okay, so number 4 is a LAWA leadership update from Vanita.
Okay.
Hey everyone, my name is Nita Wasco. I just want to give you guys an update of some of our leadership changes at LAWA. So previously, my supervisor was Crystal Lee, who is the Deputy Executive Director over what we called SEEDS. It was like Sustainability, Energy, and Environmental and Development Services. But she has been recently promoted and given a position as City Engineer for Bureau of Engineering. So it was a great role for her, since she's the first female city engineer for the city of Los Angeles. So we congratulate her, but she has moved on to another department. And so with her departure, we've hired a new deputy executive director. His name is Dylan Pettyjohn. He wasn't able to join us today. He's actually downtown with the mayor's office for another meeting, but he will be overseeing planning the environmental group, which also includes the noise management team. And prior to coming to LAWA, he served as a senior planning and development leadership role at DFW. And then we also have a new interim director of energy and environment here, who I'm reporting to, and his name is Kevin McGuy. He's worked for the city previously at the port. I know he has environmental background with air quality and has a focus on energy. So I just wanted to introduce those two new names for you, and hopefully they'll be joining one or at a meeting in the future.
Outstanding.
Really quick, we have a comment in the chat from City of Inglewood. They have one of their aviation commissioners from District 1 present, and she would like to ask a question.
Outstanding. Yes, please.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I live almost directly under the flight pattern, and I have so many of my neighbors that say that they are experiencing large amounts of almost, I think it's like interference and jet fuel of their houses. We're right in between Century and Crenshaw. And when the planes come, they look like they're maybe 2 minutes off the ground. And she says that lots of people are complaining about them releasing jet fuel. And I told her we are aviation commissioners and we would do whatever we could to try and find out exactly what it is that they are seeing or experiencing there. So I was just wondering if we could get something that maybe helps to qualify or quantify whatever that is.
Well, it's not quite public comment, but and normally we wouldn't make a response to that, but I do want to interject a couple thoughts on that. And when I get back to town, because I will be back at the beginning of the next month, I'm going to make a point of getting with you guys and seeing what we can do about some of that. But it's not the roundtable that can actually do that because of the fact that it's pollution. And I can tell you that at my home, I do get all of the stuff on the fruit trees and everything else as well.
Right.
And so I do and have been tracking a lot of this for decades. There are occasions when there is some pollution that we are getting as a result of the planes going by. It's a reality. On the other hand, the planes are much cleaner now than they've ever been. So let's see what we can do on that. And in the meantime, the beauty of you do still have the programs for sound mitigation, which includes in the city of Inglewood. You do have the sound mitigation along with air conditioning, so that at least the inside of the house is filtered. That's about all we can tell them. At least check with those folks that are feeling impacted to make sure or see if you fit into the area. And we're going to be talking about that a lot more later on in this meeting as well.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments, because I think that most of the residents that are there are right between the corridor between like 80th Street and Crenshaw. And so it's predominantly almost all day that they have the flights coming in, and the wheels are down, and you do see the spraying almost. And so they've actually been tracking it, and it seems pretty accurate. They have a footage and I guess some sort of information that would verify that this is basically what's happening. So I appreciate your information, and I'm gonna pass it on to the
Thank you.
the other members. Thank you.
Are there any other public comment? Hearing none. And without having an agenda in front of me now. Let's move forward.
Okay, so item 5 is with Elizabeth to acknowledge a new representative from Manhattan Beach.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you,
great.
Noreen. Okay, so Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chairs, and members of the roundtable, good afternoon. So we received a letter from the City of Manhattan Beach appointing a primary and alternate representative to the roundtable. The primary is Councilmember Amy Howarth, and the alternate is Mayor Pro Tem Nina Tarnay. Both are elected officials for the City of Manhattan Beach. So with the receipt of the letter, we can acknowledge that Manhattan Beach has officially changed in roundtable representatives. However, I do not see either of them on the call right now.
Neither do I.
Yeah,
We'll make a point of reaching out to them when I get back.
sounds good. And then
Because
they
they have a
also,
real history of being part of our roundtable.
yes, so they have been provided their membership binders, and then, we look forward to seeing them virtually when they join us.
Great.
Perfect.
What were their names again?
Sure. Let me get that right. So the primary is Councilmember Amy Howarth, and the alternate is Mayor Pro Tem Nina Tarnay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next is item 6, which is the election of our officers for the next year. We have one nomination for chair, which is Denny. Is there any other nominations that anybody would
Come
like
on, guys, I
to
want to
put
encourage
forward?
you.
And I seeing none. If somebody would like to put forth a motion to nominate Denny as the chair,
So moved.
and I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Robert. All right, let's do a show of hands. We'll try it. We'll try a show of hands. If you could do your raise hand function. I see 1, 2, 3. You see 4, 5? I see 5.
I see.
Okay, let's do it this way. Is there anybody object to
I was gonna
Denny? There we go.
suggest-
I see hands now. Perfect. All right, Denny. You tried, but you are the
Oh, I
man
wanna-
for another year.
Think 2 years.
Another 2 years, sorry.
Thank you.
You think?
But
Okay,
let's worry
so
about the second year first.
So this year we have 2 nominees for first vice chair and no nominees for second vice chair. So what we're going to do is the count is really important for this. So the first
Except that-
nomination. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Robert.
Doreen,
Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to apologize. I got my wires crossed. I did not realize that. I thought it was vacant. And Jeff's the head of the technical committee. He's excellent as the first vice chair. And what I want to do is withdraw my nomination or candidacy. And for some reason, I thought it was vacant. And I might be thinking of the second vice chair. So apologies to Jeff. And after member discussion, I'd like to make a motion to re-elect Jeff for first vice chair.
Okay.
And then you
Is
want
there-
to run for second vice chair, Robert?
so that
Okay.
just to simplify the process then, do we have anyone that's any office that more than one person is running for?
No, now we do not.
Then why don't we accept a wonderful one motion to, by acclamation,
City of
agree to
Inglewood
the
has
vote
their
select.
hand raised. Did you want to make a comment before we vote? And now they're not
It
raised.
sounds like Robert
Well,
volunteered to be second VP, and you said no one was
Correct.
there. No one
Correct.
was
So
there.
now it's, we've changed it to where Jeff will be the nominee for first vice chair. Robert will be the nominee for second vice chair.
So we've simplified that.
Yes.
Are there any other people that are willing or want to run? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations
Yes.
and
And need a motion to have Jeff Moskin be first vice chair and Robert Nesmith to be second vice chair.
So moved.
Perfect. If we can get a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Brad. All right. The hand thing is not necessary anymore. So if we just can hear if anybody has any objection to it, that's just easier with the whole virtual option.
I want to thank everybody for stepping up.
All right. So hearing no objections, Jeff will continue as our second vice chair and Robert as first vice chair and Robert as the second vice chair.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right. And then moving on to number 7 is rescheduling the November roundtable meeting. David?
Yeah, anyway, congratulations to Robert being our new second vice chair. And also
Yes.
congratulations to our senior officer, Danny Snyder and Jeff Moskin for continuing their leadership roles.
Yes.
All right, with that, just want to bring to the roundtable attention that our next regularly scheduled meeting in November falls on a holiday. It's on November 11th, Veterans Day. So I suggest that we schedule that meeting a day earlier to be on November 10th, Tuesday. So if that works, I'd like to have the roundtable approve that change.
While we're trying to get all of the people in, let's take one of the items that's not an action, and that is the aviation noise news. Dorian, if you wouldn't mind covering that for us.
Sure. That's a good idea.
And then we'll come back to the technical working group and the outstanding letter that LAWA has put together for us on the Palos Verdes overflights.
Oh, joke. David or Elizabeth, do you guys have the noise news?
And I believe, according to Robert's rules, if we started the meeting with enough of the members, we may continue the meeting to the end. So we may have to do that if it becomes necessary.
Okay. We are. Perfect. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is this quarter's noise news. Today I'll cover several recent developments involving aircraft noise policy, aviation technology, environmental regulations, advanced air mobility, and industry initiatives aimed at reducing the impact of aviation noise. These topics will illustrate how government agencies, manufacturers, researchers, and international organizations are shaping the future of aviation and its relationship with surrounding communities. We'll cover 9 items today. We'll begin with a newly adopted international aircraft noise and emissions standard from ICAO, followed by a NASA release of its advanced lava technology. We'll then discuss recent developments involving the FAA's ANAC, or Aircraft Noise Advisory Committee, some electric aviation certification challenges to the FAA's National Airspace Advisory Committee, a significant federal court decision involving noise policy in the EPA, industry testing on noise reduction technologies, proposed certification reforms for advanced mobility aircraft, and new research showing that how Veriport designs can significantly reduce the noise from eVTOLs. Next slide. All right. Our first topic comes from ICAO, or the International Civil Aviation Organization. They have adopted a new set of global environmental standards intended to reduce both noise and both aircraft emissions and aircraft noise. These standards became effective on August 3rd, 2026, with global implementation expected by January 1st of 2027. Importantly, these requirements apply to future aircraft design, including next generation of supersonic aircraft. Among the key changes, our carbon dioxide standards will become 10% more stringent beginning in 2031, and aircraft already in production will face additional emission requirements beginning in 2035. ICAO also adopted a more restrictive aircraft noise standard, reducing limits by 6 decibels for larger aircraft and 2 decibels for smaller aircraft, beginning with new designs introduced in 2029. Future supersonic aircraft will also be required to meet comparable noise requirements. These actions send a strong signal to the manufacturers that future aircraft must be both cleaner and quieter. The standards are expected to accelerate innovation, support sustainability goals, and provide long-term environmental and community benefits through consistent global implementation. Next slide. NASA has made its Launch, Ascent, and Vehicle Aerodynamics, known as LAVA software, available to a broader airspace community. Previously primarily used within NASA, the software can now be utilized by private companies, universities, and research organizations. LAVA is a sophisticated computational fluid dynamics tool that allows engineers to simulate airflow around aircraft, rockets, and space aircraft with very high degree of accuracy. It can model complex aerodynamic and acoustic environments, including turbulence, pressure waves, launch conditions, and atmospheric interactions. Simulations that once required days or weeks can often be completed in a matter of hours, particularly when using graphic processing units or GPU units, computing systems. The software has already been used in major NASA programs, including the Mars missions, Artemis launches, and aircraft safety research. By making this resource publicly available, NASA hopes to lower barriers in innovation and help organizations develop safer, more efficient, and potentially quieter flight technologies. Next slide. The FAA had opened up the nominations process for the Aircraft Noise Advisory Committee, or ANAC. It did close on Monday the 10th. In response to this, the LAX Roundtable held a special meeting last Wednesday on the 5th to nominate representatives for consideration. As a result of that process, nomination letters were submitted to the FAA on August 7th. Darlene Yapley was nominated as the primary representative, and Jean Rydell was nominated as the secondary representative for the airport adjacent community category. This represents an important opportunity for LAX area communities to participate directly in the national aircraft noise discussions. This update to the ANAC follows broader pressure from the bipartisan Congressional Quiet Skies Caucus, whose members have urged the FAA to move quickly in implementing the ANAC. Although the committee was established under the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2024, concerns have been raised regarding delays in appointing members and beginning committee activities. Lawmakers and community advocates have emphasized that aircraft noise continues to affect quality of life and public health in many communities, making the ANAC's work especially important. Next slide. Electric aviation remains one of the most rapidly evolving sectors in aerospace. Manufacturers are developing numerous electric and hybrid electric aircraft intended for short and medium range passenger transportation, air taxi services, cargo deliveries, and regional mobility. These designs include both conventional runway aircraft as well as the vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, or eVTOL. Potential benefits include lower operating costs, reduced emissions, probable lower noise levels, and expanded access to regional airports. However, substantial challenges remain. As of early 2026, the FAA has not certified any electric aircraft from a commercial service. Certification is currently being handled on a case-by-case basis while broader standards continue to be developed. Airport infrastructure presents another challenge. Relatively few airports currently have the necessary charging capabilities, and many face uncertainty regarding costs, demand, and implementation requirements. Stakeholders have also identified workforce limitations within both industry and government, including the need for specialized expertise relating to electric aircraft certification. While electric aviation has transformative potential, continued investment in standards development, infrastructure, and workforce readiness will be essential before widespread deployment becomes a reality. Next. The FAA has renewed and expanded one of its most important aviation advisory bodies. The former Next Gen Advisory Committee has been renamed the National Airspace Systems Advisory Committee, while retaining the NAC acronym. More importantly, its mission has expanded beyond the implementation of next-gen technology to encompass the modernization of the broader national airspace system. The FAA has emphasized that it remains its primary advisory body for airspace modernization. In addition to traditional aviation stakeholders, the revised committee will include representation from emerging sectors such as unmanned aircraft systems, advanced air mobility, powered airlift aircraft, and commercial space operations. Membership may include up to 25 representatives serving a 2-year term. This action reflects the FAA's recognition that future airspace management will require coordination across a much wider range of users and technology. It also highlights the agency's focus on safety, integrating new aviation concepts into the national airspace system. Next slide. A significant legal development may have long-term implications for federal noise policy. Federal District Court ruled that the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, unreasonably failed to carry out important responsibilities established under the Noise Control Act of 1972 for more than 4 decades. The lawsuit was brought by the Quiet Communities Incorporated and Gene Kebthorne. The court determined that the EPA failed to update noise-related health guidance, failed to identify major noise sources as required by law, and failed to perform other mandatory duties established by Congress. Importantly, the court rejected the argument that historical budget reductions relieve the agency of their responsibility. The ruling specifically referenced the EPA's failure to update key documents on health impacts and acceptable environment noise exposure levels, despite significant advances in scientific understanding since the 1970s. Research increasingly links excessive noise exposure to health impacts, learning disruptions, and reduced quality of life. Although the decision does not directly modify aviation noise regulations, it could lead to renewed federal involvement in noise research, public education, health assessments, and environmental policy. Many observers view the ruling as a potentially significant turning point in federal noise oversight. Next. Boeing, Lufthansa, and Rolls-Royce, who make aircraft engines, in case you were trying to figure out why a car company is involved, are collaborating on a flight test program aimed at reducing aircraft noise while improving efficiency and sustainability. The tests are being conducted on a Boeing 787, sorry, not a 747, Dreamliner through Boeing's 2026 Echo Demonstrator Explorer program. One of the primary technologies under the evaluation is a next-generation inlet that incorporates advanced acoustic treatments designed to reduce weight, drag, and engine noise. The team is also evaluating intelligent operations flight paths that use data-driven optimization to reduce fuel consumption and lower noise impacts in communities surrounding airports. The program is supported by the FAA's Clean Initiative, which stands for Continuous Lower Energy Emissions and Noise, which focuses on technologies. Oh, I just said that. The reduce energy emissions and noise. Flight testing is taking place in Montana, which is where I am, and is expected to provide valuable real-world data. Participants believe the results could influence future aircraft designs as well as operational procedures intended to reduce noise exposure for aircraft or for airport communities. Next. Congress is considering legislation designed to accelerate certification of advanced air mobility aircraft. The Senate Commerce Committee recently approved the Aviation Innovation and Global Competitiveness Act, also known as S3885. The bipartisan legislation focuses on improving the FAA certification process for advanced air mobility in eVTOL aircraft. The key provisions establish expected certification timelines, clarify certification requirements, provide updated guidance and delegated authority, and help the FAA focus resources on the most safety critical issues. The legislation also encourages performance-based regulatory approaches and requires ongoing reporting to Congress. Supporters believe the bill could reduce uncertainty for manufacturers and investors while helping improve innovative companies to bring new aircraft to market more efficiently. The measure is intended to strengthen the U.S. competitiveness in the rapidly growing advanced air mobility sector while maintaining safety as the overriding priority. And our final news item demonstrates that reducing aircraft noise may involve not only aircraft design, but also infrastructure design. Researchers at the University of Bristol in England examined how vertiport configuration affects noise produced by the eVTOL aircraft during takeoff and landing. Their research focused on replacing traditional solid landing surfaces with a perforated or grid-like structure. The results were significant. By allowing airflow to pass through the landing surface and reducing the pressure buildup, the sound reflections associated with ground effects, the design reduced propeller noise by as much as 15 decibels and overall sound pressure levels by up to 7 decibels. The findings suggest that vertiports, rooftop landing pads, and drone facilities could be designed to incorporate noise reducing features from the outset. Researchers conclude that combining quieter aircraft with smarter infrastructure may be essential to achieving public acceptance of the urban air mobility operations in densely populated areas. And that concludes the noise update for today. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you. Larry, maybe one of the consequences of all of this activity has to do with the noise study that was run for several years, and that's been in evaluation for quite a few of all of the comments that people have made over the last several years. Do you know of anything that's going forward as any more quickly than the ANAC committee itself that's going to look at some of this stuff?
No, I am not aware of anything else other than the ANAC, that committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that whole study was, quite frankly, one of the most innovative and potentially impacting, because it did identify many issues that were missed in the 1970s and 80s when they developed all of the criteria for determining who was affected and who was impacted by all of this noise. And so we have a lot of big opportunities to change and reduce the number of people who are totally affected by this activity. So I look forward to when we get some even better information. Are there any other comments that people or questions for Doreen?
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
If we go back to the schedule that we had, Jeff was going to be talking about the technical working group, and I've texted him, and I notice he hasn't been able to get back onto this call. So let's continue waiting for his ability to get in. But if we get toward the end of the meeting, we'll make a shortened version of his comments. So let's move forward then to discussion of the wonderful letter that you put together, David, on the overflights from Palos Verdes. Do we have David on the call? Yes.
Yeah, I
we do.
believe
Yep.
Denny, it's up to Robert to present on the item. So go ahead, Robert.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jeff is
Oh.
coming in.
David, I mean, Robert?
Yes, I just want to thank Lawa for putting together such a clear, well-written summary of the situation that's going on over the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Historically, the passenger jets have been overflying between 2 to 3% of all the southbound jets, but between the months of November 2025 to April 2026, it's increased to 3 to 4%. And furthermore, the altitudes have increased in that same time period from about 40 below 10,000 to 220. And so the letter is written, it was a very respectful letter to FAA, just asking the FAA to adhere to the departure schedule and try not to vector off from the waypoints as much as possible. And when it's overflying the peninsula, which includes my city, to maintain it above the altitudes that are established with the departure schedule. And then also the letter asks for the FAA to collaborate and work with LAWA to try to understand what's changed from the historic averages. So thank you very much, LAWA.
And thank you, David, again, and all of LAWA. Let's get this letter out as quickly as we can so that we can get it moving forward. And I think it's very important to recognize that the peninsula is a lot higher than ground level. And it's because I do remember when I lived on the peninsula myself, and there are sections of the peninsula that can be up to almost, I think it was 1,800 feet. So that puts the planes much lower by comparison to the actual ground. So thank you again, guys, for that. While we're still waiting, oh, Jeff, you're on.
Jeff's back on, but Denny, this is an action item, so if we could get a motion from the group to forward this letter to the FAA, and
Oh,
then
okay. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make
Robert?
that motion.
Perfect.
Somebody-
Timmy will second it. Thank you, Timmy. And again, if anyone is against the measure, please state your opposition
Or abstaining.
or abstaining. Yes. All right, hearing none,
Hearing
motion
none,
passes.
that is unanimous.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Jeff, would you like to come back on so we can come back to you? Jeff Moskin, you're muted right now. If you're in an Apple, you can use the Command
There we
Shift
go.
M.
Oh,
Okay, good.
he came
No.
off and then there
You
we
hear
go.
me?
Perfect. We hear you.
Okay, well,
Welcome, Jeff.
yeah, sorry, I had some trouble here. What was the question?
Well, we're up to the point of the technical working group. And
Oh.
we had a large number of answers on the EOR, the 17 EOR questions that we raised. And I'd like to give credit to the FAA for coming back with the answers and helping us try to resolve many of these issues, even though we still have some that are outstanding.
Yeah. Let me see. I got a answer from Gene I wanted to read. He could not join here today. I got the wrong one there. Bear with me a second. Okay, so the technical working group met on July 23rd to get answers to our questions regarding the established on RNP or EOR separation standard, which will facilitate the use of RNP arrival procedures at LAX. The FAA provided a more detailed presentation on this topic in an effort to help the TWG better understand the criteria and usage of EOR at LAX. The group identified 4 main barriers to greater EOR utilization. 1, aircraft RNP equipage. 2, pilot training. 3, air traffic sequencing and spacing requirements. And 4, FAA staffing levels, particularly the final monitor positions. FAA representatives noted that several major carriers, including United, Alaska, Delta, Southwest, and JetBlue, are generally equipped and trained for RNP operations. However, some airlines face fleet limitations or do not currently see additional investments in training and equipage as cost effective. Moving forward, the group will explore options of increasing the use of EOR at LAX. These options may include engaging the airlines to better understand RNP capabilities, training levels, and barriers to EOR use, exploring incentives through the LAX Fly Quieter program for airlines that invest in EOR qualified aircraft and training, request full FAA staffing at the LAX Tower and SoCal TRACON, encourage the FAA leadership to incorporate EOR needs into the brand new air traffic control system and other modernization initiatives. Seek FAA guidance on operational and training improvements that could increase EOR use. Lastly, clarify whether any EOR sequencing functions are built into the procedures or remain controller managed. In summary, the TWG believes there is significant potential to expand EOR utilization at LAX. Achieving that goal will require collaboration and improved staffing, operational enhancements, and modernization efforts. The group also believes that full EOR utilization could ultimately address the low altitude issues associated with downwind arrivals. So that's what Gene wrote, and I think it's a pretty good analysis. He was going to be here today, but he had a conflict.
Sure.
So I'm going to forward this to you, Denny.
Okay, if you could send it over to David so that he can include it
David?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I'll take a copy, of course. Thank you. And let me just provide one more piece of info for all of those of us on the roundtable who did not study avionics to that level. And I thank you, Jeff, for being a pilot and being able to address a lot of these issues. But basically what it comes down to is in the past, because we have so much traffic going along the north downwind, most of the time the controllers have used visual flight path rules, which basically says go along and follow these particular guidelines, and it does not include the requirement to stay as high as it would if they were under RNAV, which is required navigation, which is computer controlled, and that's what essentially the EOR provides as a partial solution to our problem with so many people being affected by the noise at those lower levels. And so bottom line is that we are now looking at ways in which we can implement to keep the planes as high as possible so that the impact on people on the ground is much lower. That's my summary. And Jeff, if you have some addition to that, be happy to.
No, that sounds pretty much it.
Well, thank you, everybody. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands that in order to resolve many of these issues, we actually, and that's why it's really appreciated that our friends on the airlines are with us on these, because they actually do fly these routes and they understand it much better than I certainly do. Although I always wanted to be a pilot, I'm still not one.
Denny, Kurt has his hand raised.
Hi, Denny. Hi, just one question, and Jeff probably could answer this too. So when might some of these new changes be installed, or we might see some effect from some of this change in North Downwind?
I'll take that.
Thank you.
If you pull up the BNATS, brand new air traffic control system from the FAA, they've started already. And I can verify that because I've been on a couple of San Francisco to LA flights that have, in fact, flown that. And it's supposed to complete by 2028, which is it's a pretty aggressive program, especially for the FAA.
Mm. Okay. Well, thank you. We'll just keep waiting.
I wouldn't say that you're going to see the panacea that's going to resolve all issues.
What?
But that is one of the reasons that we are going after it so strongly right now, while the designs are being made, so that they take into consideration all of the things that we've been concerned with for all of these years.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Denny.
Moving forward, then on our list, we already took care of number 10.
Yes.
Status of the number 11 is the status of the LAX noise exposure map update. David?
Yeah, thank you, Denny. Hello, everyone. I just want to give the roundtable and status update on the noise exposure map project. As many of you know, this map is intended to use to identify sound insulation eligibility for LAX sound insulation program. So the purpose of updating the map is to ensure that it represents current and future condition, and to also ensure that we continue to receive federal funding to support those programs. So we started the project back in May of last year, and then we held a first set of workshop in October to introduce the project to the public. And since then, we've been actively working on producing the contour maps along with the report. And at the time when producing the map, we used the computer model known as AADT version 3G to produce the maps. But then earlier this year, the FAA updated the modeling software to 4A, and that requires us to use the new model to do the map update. So that requires us to redo the modeling process. So that essentially caused a delay in the project. But at this point, we're done with the map development. We also finished with the report. We submit both draft to the FAA for review and feedback in June. And then in late July, we receive comments from the FAA on the draft. So we're now actively addressing those comments And so we anticipate at this point we'll be able to share the result with members of the roundtable and members of the public in early September. And that's when we'll release the draft documents and map for review and comment. That's also starting a 30-day review cycle. And then we plan to host the second set of workshop in mid-September. And the venues will be the same as last time. One will be at the Flight Path Museum, and the other is the Jesse Owens Park. The workshop scheduled for currently targeting for September 15 and 16. And then we plan to send notification to the public and members of the roundtable to provide the specific detail as to when the document will be available and the information about the two workshops, as I stated earlier. So that's where we at with the project. We'll be able to share more soon in the coming weeks. So with that, entertain a few questions.
David, my only question will be, when this is completed, will we have to go back through and get any activity on the waiver and deviation that we have for our airport because we're not totally in compliance?
No, I don't think it affects the operating procedure here at LAX in terms of flight path or aircraft operations. This is essentially just the map that help identifies the noise impact areas. Doesn't necessarily
Got it.
affects the operating flight procedures.
Other questions? Look forward to it. And thank you. And this does, by the way, have a big impact on our sound mitigation programs. So we do want to make sure that this is done right so that, and I have full confidence in the people doing it.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay, moving right along. We have roundtable member discussion. That's basically a catch-all that allows us to address any other topics that we would like to see addressed and improve on future. The one thing that I want to raise for everyone is something that we've been talking about anyway, and that has to do with our, and I thank you, David, for getting that letter out also since the last meeting that went to the FAA, specifically asking that our concerns be addressed while they're doing the updates of the new TRACON and controls, air traffic controls for the entire skies, that they start taking more concern with how they can be used to resolve some of the ongoing issues we've had with noise. So thank you for sending that out.
Oh, Daddy, one thought about that letter, since Jeff did mention about looking to incorporating the EOR into that brand new air traffic control system. So we want to include some language regarding that letter before we send it out, just to incorporate that piece into the letters.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So David, will that letter be on the website?
Yeah, once we finalize, we'll distribute it to the members as always.
Oh, great.
And we'll be on the website as well. So.
Okay. Any other items that people want to bring up for this meeting? I know that we received the statistics on the departures and go-arounds and all the other information, and I know that's a lot of good work. And thank you, David, for going through all of this, and Elizabeth as well, because I'm sure that it took more than one person to be able to get all of that work done. And I know that in the past, I see a note from Kobe. Thank you, because it was raised as an issue that our friends in El Segundo. And I just want to give kudos to everybody and the FAA for this, because almost 30 years or 28 years ago or so ago, the way in which planes took off from LAX and went out to the west and then came back, they would frequently come back anywhere helter-skelter over the coastline at very low heights of only a couple thousand feet over the homes on the coastline. And now we do have much more controlled exits and going back east, where they come directly over LAX at 10 to 12,000 feet, which is much more tolerable for everybody. So we have accomplished some things. We just have a lot more to go. Doreen, do you want to go over the action items that we have for this meeting?
Absolutely. Okay, the first action item was for the elections, and to recap, Denny has been reelected as the chair. Jeff is the first vice chair, and Robert is the second vice chair. The next action item was to move the November meeting from Veterans Day on the 11th to a week later on the November 18th. And then the third action item was to send the letter regarding the Palos Verdes overflights to the FAA. All were passed unanimously.
Thank you. So without ado, I'm going to wish everybody, I don't have to say happy Thanksgiving yet, because that'll be right after our next meeting. But I would really encourage everyone, if you have things that you're interested in and want to see us address, we are very open to raising issues. We do this on a regular basis. We meet with the FAA on a monthly basis. We also meet with them regarding these meetings that we're hosting right now. So I want to encourage everyone to be involved and get the word out to people that we're trying to solve the problems. Get with us, and we will continue to do so. With that, I want to thank everybody for your participation. Are there any final comments that anyone would like to make?
We have two holidays before Thanksgiving. We have Labor Day and we have Veterans Day.
Oh, you're right. Happy
Halloween.
For both. And Halloween, yes, and Halloween.
Time flies when you're enjoying yourself.
Right.
So I want to thank everybody. I look forward to hearing from everyone. We will continue doing yeoman's job. I want to especially thank our friends in the airlines, because we can't do this without you, and we need your help, because you know exactly what's going on. And it's and Joanne, did you have a comment for us?
No, that's it.
Okay, well, in that
everybody
case,
happy Labor Day.
In that case, without objection, this meeting is ended a second time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
y'all.
Stay safe.